Hey, what's going on everybody? It is Sly here and I'm back for a video for the 5-9 Gaming channel. This was actually requested during the live stream I did with Troko and Waffles for the Persona collab. I saw a few people asking me for a beginner's guide for Dragalia Lost because I am assuming that Persona 5 is so hyped that everyone wants to try the game and try out Joker and all of them for the Persona collab. So here it is for the video. I hope you all do enjoy. I will be going over some key important points for all beginners to know, alongside showing about 20-second clips of what some of the 5-star characters can do. I do want to keep this short and simple and sweet. I don't want to go too long, but yeah, this will be a guide for everybody who wants to start Dragalia Lost with this collab or just in general. So I hope you all enjoy the video, and let's get right into the first point. So the first point of the video will be rerolling. So once you complete the tutorial, you will come to this screen, which is basically the start of your summoning tutorial for the game. So this was changed for newer players, so you can do 5 multis, and you can indefinitely reroll if you don't like what you get, because they added in a accept or reject button. So I'll show you guys a quick few examples of what to expect. So basically, you just get the summons and you just keep hitting next for the 5 of them. And if you like what you get, you can hit the accept button at the end. If you don't like what you get, you can hit the reset button. So right there is actually not a bad one, because this is a galley unit, which I will get to later. They are basically the Dokkan Fests. But just for video's sake, I'll show you guys that I don't like my results, and I'll just hit confirm. And all it does is just takes me right back to the very first multi of a new reroll. And again, it's just the same thing. Next, 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 5 times until you get what you like. So yeah. Pretty much that's all it is. You just keep hitting reset until you get something you like or just something you're comfortable with. And you just keep going. And once you get something you like, you can just hit the accept button at the end. Okay. So you guys get the gist of it. If you guys get something you like, you can hit accept at the end and you can continue on with the account. Or if you don't like what you get, you can hit reset until you get something you would prefer. This is done indefinitely. You can take however long you want. There is no limit, and yeah, if you guys are re-rolling, good luck with that, and moving on to the next point. So the next point will be actually the story. So once you complete the small tutorial that the game asks you to do, you will be able to skip actually most of the story up to, I believe, chapter 10. See, so right here, so once you complete the first mission here, which is chapter 1, mission 1-2, you will be able to hit this skip campaign button, which will skip all the way up to chapter 11. So chapters 1 through 10 will be completely done, and you will be able to obtain all the first clear rewards, all the quest endeavors, and everything using this feature. So once you click it, if you so choose, if you actually do want to read the entire story, you can play the game normally if you so choose. But if you guys are just looking to reroll and just have a lot of stuff at once so you guys can reroll for the Persona collab, this function will actually help you really, really well. So just for the sake of the video, I will hit yes to skip. So once you do that, the game will say, okay, gotta restart the game so that it skips everything. So pretty much once you're done, you just reload the game. Yeah, by the way, link your Nintendo accounts once you guys get a good account that you like. Remember to link it. You also get a multi for doing so. You don't want to lose your accounts. So pretty much, this is just the game skipping the stuff, you know, all the Persona stuff. If you guys so choose to watch it, you can. You're missing absolutely nothing, but if you want to enjoy it, please, by all means, do it. Okay, so there's going to be a small tutorial that you got to go through. Okay, so once you guys reload the game back up from the game restarting itself, because it skipped everything, everything will be here in your gift boxes. You can accept up to, I believe it's a good amount. I believe, yes, it says right here, 100 goodies at once. So you just go through all of this, and you just accept everything that is possibly here, which is all the Wormite that you would have received from playing chapters 1 through 10. So there you have it. That is how the story will work and how to skip it onto the next feature. Here we go. So the next feature is actually going to be adventurers. Adventurers are the units in this game that you can obtain by playing the game and or summoning or special events in the game that do give out adventurers. So just quickly, as I did mention earlier during the rerolling, galas are the Dokkan Festival exclusive units in this game. So just like Gala Yuden here on the screen. However, there are other special characters such as limited units. Limited units are special units that come out during special banners that only come around maybe like a few times a year, if you're lucky. One example would be someone like Yoshisune here. She is limited to only her event and her banner only. You cannot get her in the general pool at all, sorry. But she will come back on her banner once it does decide to rerun again. So alongside Yoshisune, there are also other units such as seasonal units like Dragon Yule Cleo here. So Dragon Yule Cleo, she is obviously the Christmas variation of Cleo in the game, and she is only available on banners during Christmas. Obviously because she's the Christmas variation of Cleo. However, there is a small exception to this rule where she is available on something called the Dream Summon. A Dream Summon is you spend 1200 Diamantium, that is paid currency only, sorry. But you spend 1200 Diamantium and you can pick out any unit in the pool. So if it's not in the pool, you can't get it. So Gala units such as Gala Yuden, Gala Mim, Gala Alex, they are not in the pool. Collaboration units, so Marth, Fatalis, any of those, they're not in the pool. And I'm pretty sure that some limiteds might be, some aren't. I would have to double check. But for the most part, it is essentially some seasonals and just general pool units. So because Dragon Yule Cleo is, I believe, 2 years old, maybe 1 year. I'm pretty sure it's 2 years old. She is old enough to reach the level of being obtainable from the Dream Summon. So you can obtain Dragon Yule Cleo from the Dream Summon. Moving on with actually adventures in this game, we're going to go over their abilities. Well, not all of their abilities, but abilities. So essentially their skills in the kits that they give. So this is the first skill for Dragon Yule Cleo, and this is her second. So those are unique to only her. However, there are shareable abilities, like as this one is, Starlight Gift, meaning if you so choose to unlock it, which does actually require some materials. So let's find Cleo, so she's Water Dagger, I mean. So as you can see, I could unlock it, but I'm not going to right now because I actually do want to save those water tomes. So the requirement to unlock shared skills is they have to be level 80, and they have to be Mana Circle 50, and I will get to Mana Circles in a little bit. And they require tomes. Tomes you can acquire just by playing the game, events, etc, etc. If they are a story unit, however, so an example would be Yuden. His shared skill is unlocked because he is a story unit and you don't have to spend anything. So story units that you can obtain through the game, you can unlock their shared skills rather easily. Units that are not, you do have to spend those requirements for them. There are also weapon shared skills. So like this one you get for unlocking certain unbinds for weapons, which I will cover. So essentially you can have 2 shared skills on a unit, and there is a limit cost of 10. So as you can see, the weapon shared skills are 0, so they cost nothing to equip. Something like Summer Cleo shared skill actually costs 5. So that will take up 5 out of the 10 requirements, but because the weapon share skill is 0, you're only using 5. You can go up to 10. So also, other than their skills in their kit and the shared skills, they also have things that are called co-abilities. These are abilities that activate for them while being on the bench, and they do benefit the whole team. So co-abilities affect anyone. So it can be a light unit, wind unit, anything, even off element. These are essentially what people aim for the most for their units. So someone like Gala Leaf, who has the strength and defense down Punisher, can actually fit on Gala Alex. because she does reduce their defense, so she would benefit from his Ko ability. However, something like the Chain Ko ability is actually on element specific, meaning because Cleo is water, she will only affect other water units. This is her combo time, which extends the window for getting combos for water. This will not affect someone that is off element, so wind, flame, shadow, and light will not benefit from this Chain Ko ability. And that is pretty much it for adventures. Let's move on to the next feature. The next feature is actually going to be dragons. So what dragons are, they are essentially various mythological creatures that are reimagined for Dragalia Lost that can give power to any adventure they are equipped to. So a majority of the cast will be able to shapeshift into dragon. They each have their own strengths and effects, so it's good to find out which dragon will fit an adventure best when you're deciding on a team. So let's look at a dragon for example. So pretty much this is Gala Thor, so yes, he is Gala exclusive. But this is Thor. He is a light dragon. And pretty much for all dragons, they all pretty much have Chain Ko abilities, meaning their abilities will only work with the correct attribute that they are attached to. So because Thor is light, his abilities will only activate for those that are also attuned to light and he is equipped to. So meaning someone like Gala Alex or Gala Cleo, who are both shadow units, will not benefit at all from his abilities. He can still use his skill, but the abilities for Chariot Rider and Thunderbringer will not activate on not light units. So there are also dragons that don't look like dragons, but they all fall under the dragon category. So like I said, they are various mythological creatures. So some are dragons, some are like something like a siren, which is actually in the game, it's actually called Siren. Some are bulls, pigs, bears, you name it. It's any mythological creature, but the idea is because it started out as dragons initially when the game came out, but they decided to add in various mythological creatures, so that is why some don't look like dragons. There are also these things called augments for dragons. I can't show you right this split second because Thor is already fully augmented, but augments I really wouldn't stress too much about because that is extreme endgame activity, so I wouldn't worry about that. But for dragons, unlike adventurers, they do require duplicates. So as you can see right here, these 4 little diamonds, they are for his unbinding. So unbinding for dragons works with dupes, or you can use items that are called sunlight stones. Sunlight stones are pretty much acquisition stones if you ever played Blazing back in the day. That's the only one that can come to my mind right now. They essentially work the same way for dragons, is that they act as a duplicate for the dragon. They are a little tedious to come by once you hit a certain point in the game, but they aren't like completely gated. It just takes a little bit. Some events will give out sunlight ores, which it takes 10 of them to make a sunlight stone, or some might just outright give a sunlight stone to begin with. So yeah, that's pretty much it for dragons. Let's move on to the second to last feature, which is weapons. Moving on to the second to last point of this video is going to be weapons. So on screen right now is the maxed out version of the Shadow Agito sword called Yidian Jian. I'm probably mispronouncing that, I'm sorry. But so weapons are essentially like how in Dragon Ball Legends or Grand Cross you guys have equipment. This is essentially kind of what that is. It's one part of it. There is another part of it. It's kind of like a triangle. So dragons, weapons, and worm prints. Worm prints will be the next topic that we go over. So it's pretty much a triangle for equipment. So weapon, dragons, and worm prints are all how you can make a unit besides their mana circles much stronger than they are. So pretty much what the weapons do, or how you can go about it, is there are essentially 5 categories, because other weapons is literally just the story one that you get just for starting the game. So 5. So there are core weapons, there are void weapons, there are chimera tech weapons, there are high dragon weapons, and then lastly there are Agito weapons. So pretty much you get core weapons just by playing the game, and which is essentially, I believe, I could be wrong, it's probably the Imperial Onslaught. I'll have to double check. Yes, Imperial Onslaught, because these drop from the Imperial Onslaught. So that is pretty much what it is. You just want to craft one with the materials, and you want to use these items called Damascus Ingots. They act as the Sunlight Stones for weapons, so you can unbind them for free just using the Damascus Ingots. Damascus crystals you can get throughout playing the game, unlocking a special mana node in a mana circle for an adventurer. There's also the treasure trade across various multiple events in the game. So they aren't necessarily hard to come by, but again, like I said, it does take 10 to make 1 ingot. So pretty much what you do want to aim for, so once you start off the game, you probably want to go for a Chimera Tech weapon to begin with, because Agito weapons do require you to craft 1 copy of the Chimera Tech weapon that comes before it. Let's see if I have something that I can craft. So I don't have the Agito Wind Wand, and even if I did have the materials to do it, it says it right here, obtain Chimera Tech Franken to craft. Which is the Chimera Tech weapon, which is this. I'm not going to craft it because I don't need it right now, and I do want to save materials. But now you can see why I said pretty much aim for Chimera Techs first, and then after that proceed into Agitos. I'm pretty sure that it should not be too hard for newer players to find veteran players that are willing to help out new players in Agitos. The community isn't really that bad if you guys ask the right people. Pubs can be a little bit of a pain in the butt because, you know, public matches or matchmaking for anything can go a little hazy, but that's every game. But there are people in this community that will easily and without any problems help you with the endgame content. All you gotta do is just ask nicely, and it's that simple. So yeah, that's pretty much it for weapons. Let's move on to the last point, which is worm prints. For the last point of the video for beginner's guides for Dragalia Lost is going to be worm prints. This is the third point of the triangle for the equipment and acts more like equipment than weapons and dragons, but to keep it simple, we'll keep it as a triangle between the three, but this is the number 1 point that acts like equipment. So what worm prints are is they are essentially equipment. They give you extra bonus skills that the adventurer might not already have in their kit. So say for like you're using someone like Gala Alex, who is a sword unit. This print right here is a 5-star print called the Shining Overlord. Once you fully unbind it, you will have full access to its ability, which is sword skill damage plus 40%. And the little parentheses on worm prints is how much percentage it can give. Worm prints can stack together, so if you have something that is skill damage plus 30%, and then like another lower rarity print, which is skill damage plus 10, you can put the two together on an adventurer and you can make the 40%. However, most people just tend to go with the weapon-specific worm print, which already maxes out at 40% for any adventurer. There are 3 weapon types that do not have a specific weapon skill damage print, and that is blades, mana casters, and staffs. Staffs you don't really need to necessarily worry about because staffs for the most part are healing / support units. The only one that might technically benefit the most from a staff skill damage print is Gala Zena because she is an attack unit as a staff, but Zena doesn't necessarily need it because there is a specific build for her where she is just supporting other players on the field and just speeding things up for them to get their damage out more. So in terms of how you can acquire the worm prints, you can get them variously through playing the game, and they act as random drops or rare drops. There's also another place, which is the shop, which is the worm prints, and you can use your Eldwater to buy prints. They are pretty cheap at first purchase, and when it comes to upgrading worm prints, they are a little bit taxing is the word I guess you can say. Now let's find a print just to show an example. We'll use Pekarine's Grand Adventure as an example. So to upgrade this worm print, you can use golden keys, which are again given out through various events, same as Damascus crystals and sunlight ores. Or you can use Eld Water, but it can be a little bit pricey if it's not a event exclusive. Like, this is a really specific worm print that falls under that category. That's a pretty cheap upgrade. Let's see if I can find one that's actually pretty pricey. 33,000 Eld Water to fully max Unbind. Pain in the butt, which is where the golden keys come into play. Again, they act like sunlight stones and they act like Damascus ingots, where you can use them freely to unbind the worm prints. So the last point for worm prints that I do want to mention, what to look for is pretty much how a unit acts based on their kit. I'm going to be direct and give a quick disclaimer. Alex's kit is an essay, and it's pretty much a Yu-Gi-Oh card effect. So as you can see, her effect and kit right here, this top one, don't worry about the bottom one. The bottom one is just exclamations, an explanation of how much her damage does and all that stuff. That's just calculations for you. It's the top part right here that's very, very wordy. But because I use Gala Alex a lot, I can pretty much tell you off the top of my head what she does. So she does have built-in Poison Punisher into her kit. She also has built-in Broken Punisher into her kit. So what that means is if an enemy is afflicted with poison, she does extra damage. And if they are in the break state, she does much more damage as well. So worm prints, such as this one right here, which is a 4-star print called Sniper's Allure. It has Broken Punisher plus 25%, can be a max of 30%. There are 5-star prints that will give you the plus 30%, but for me personally, I'm going to take the plus 25 because this right here, A Man Unchanging, is 30% Poison Punisher. And because you can poison even outside of break state, this will apply a lot more consistently than Broken Punisher will for someone like Gala Alex. There are other units in this game. Let me show you another example. So we'll actually go to Galazena. Galazena, who, like I said, has a worm print setup where she can do a lot of damage still, but she doesn't really necessarily need the staff skill damage because she's one of the very few that actually has an ability that does damage as a staff. But because she is more Force Strike focused on her kit and in her attacks, this worm print right here, Stellar Show, which increases her Force Strike damage up to the maximum of 50%. It doesn't cap at 50%, but the worm print does, so that's why I said a maximum. So because of that, she doesn't necessarily need a skill damage print, and this worm print right here for Stellar Show actually helps out Zena a lot. And because she is meant to help shred, is the terminology, it reduces the overdrive gauge much faster. So that's why another worm print such as Gauge Accelerator, which is speeds up the rate the mode gauge decreases by, which is break and overdrive, so the orange bar underneath their health bar, paired alongside Overdrive Punisher. So while they have overdrive, this does more damage to them. I don't want to go on too long about worm prints because it can get a little hectic. So that is pretty much it for worm prints, and that is going to be pretty much the end of the video. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all did find this informative. If it's a little lengthy, I do apologize, but I did want to explain as much as I possibly could for beginners. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy and you want to see more Dragalia Lost content on the channel, please be sure to support the video by leaving a like, hitting the sub button to stay up to date with all things 5-9 Gaming to support everyone on the channel. Also make sure to turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a wonderful and great day. Take care.